Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 5, consists of me, Adinda, Salma, Nadhira, Afifah Rabbani, and Revellin Rizki Prameswari. Will present our case of audit violence in Indonesia. So our case is PT Sunprima Nusantara or SNP Finance. SNP Finance Profile. So, PT Sunprima Nusantara Pembiayaan, often abbreviated as SNP, is a finance company that was established in 2000, had a vacuum for 2 years, and the Columbia Group took over ownership in 2002. But PT SNP only started operating fully 2004. SNP specially engaged in customer finance called Prima Finance, and main dealers who finance is 100% support by PT SNP are all Columbia retail customers. Product finance are all household needs such as all electronic product, furniture, cell phones, computer, two-wheeled motorbikes. Apart from this product, PT SNP also provide financing for productive products such as hand tractor and three-wheeled motorcycle. Principals who have worked together include Nozomi, Yanmar, Olympic, Modena, Fujitech, Sanken, the Jakarta Music Gallery. In addition to financing all Columbia outlets, PT SNP also finance or other dealers, both traditional and modern market, through the Prima Finance division. So the next is SNP Finance Cash Analysis. So, 5 directors and manager of PT Sunprima Nusantara Pembiayaan were secured by authorized in connection with the alleged crime of document forgery, embezzlement, fraud, and money laundering in their business activity as the multi-finance company. SNP Finance is part of the Columbia business, a retail network that offers purchase of household goods on the credit or installment. In its activities, it is SNP that support the purchase of goods made by Columbia with funding from banks or debt security. In the multi-finance industry, SNP Finance is arguably a lower middle class player. Look, the total financing it distributes is not more than 5 trillion per year. Understandably, the items he financed were only mattress, cupboards, sofas, and other household furniture. In contrast to multi-caliber BCA Finance, Astra Sedaya Finance, FIF, and Adira Finance, which finance four-wheel vehicle and motorcycle, not surprisingly, the finance they distribute is also always in the tens of trillions per year. Naturally, friends with the profession of SNP Finance are based in the commercial banks. However, Deputy Commissaries of Strategic Management and Logistics of the Finance Service Authority or OJK, Anto Prabowo relieved that along with the decline in Colombia retail business, the bank loans withdrawn by SNP Finance were also in trouble. And the back NLP, he told CNN in Indonesia.com Wednesday, SNP Finance is known to have received working capital credit facility from 14 banks and the biggest come from PT Mandiri, and SNP itself has been a customer of Bank Mandiri for 20 years. However, in the 2016, the company applied for a credit restructuring. At the time, Bank Mandiri included SNP Finance in collectibility group to call to. or under special attention, credit restructuring is needed not because the company is in arrest, but so that the company can get funding from other banks. Instead the improving, Bank Mandiri Corporate Secretary Rohan Hafaz said that S&P Finance was showing bad faith. In recent months, his credit has started to fall and the company management has filed for voluntary bankruptcy. In fact, the bad credit at the time reached 2 trillion. They have actually been our customer for 20 years and have a good reputation. But suddenly it changed only in the last few months that the credit was bad. That amount includes principal and interest accumulated over the last few years. Now it has become bad credit, he explained. S&P Finance Corporate Secretary Ongko Purba Suha state that the total value of the loan they took was no more than 4 trillion. This is also stated in the postponement in debt payment obligation or PKPU. It's in the acknowledgement of debt at PKPU. He said the PKPU was issued on May 4, 2018 after being granted the panel of judges of the Central Jakarta District Courts. The PKPU state that SNP Finance total bill reached 4.07 trillion from 14 banks as a credit source which guarantees 2.2 trillion as well as 336 MNT holders worth 1.65 trillions. In December 2017, according to Bank Indonesia Debitor Information System or SID, the S&P Finance category was actually still in Call 1 with a current status. However, in January 2018, there was a transition and under the control of the OJK, namely the Financial Information Service System or SLIK, which later changed in status Call 2. This resulted in the emergency of question from bank distributing their funds to S&P finance and resulting in delay in cash flow credit from the other banks. On the other hand, the collection management system at S&P Finance branch office is getting weaker. So the next slide will be presented by Revellin Rizki Prameswari.
Okay, thank you, Adinda. PT SNP carried out activities to cover up the violation by means of dig a hole, close a hole. Deputy Director for Economic and Special Crimes at the National Police Criminal Investigation Agency, Senior Commissioner Daniel Tahi Monang Silitong, said that the disclosure of this case began with a Penin Bank report in early August 2018. According to him, SNP Finance applied for a loan for working capital credit facilities and a checking account to Penin Bank for the period May 2016 to 2017 with a ceiling for debtor of 425 billion Indonesian rupiah. One of the actions taken by SNP Finance to overcome its bad loans was to issue bonds in the form of medium-term notes or MTN, which were rated by Pevindo, a rating agency. Based on financial statement audited by KAP or public accounting firm Deloitte, it can be said that the issuance of MTN didn't go through a process at the OJK, considering that MTN is a private agreement but requires a rating because it can be traded, explained Anto. Quoting Pevindo's press release, the Independent Credit Bureau obtained SNP Finance with an ID A- or a single A- rating from December 2015 until November 2017. Then the rating was raised to ADA or single A in March 2018. Even though at the same time S&P Finance is starting to have problems. 2 months later, namely in May 2018, OJK issued a Pembekuan Kegiatan Usaha or PKU or Business Activity Suspension Sanction against S&P Finance draft the Deputy Commissioner for Supervision of IKBN2 number S-247/NB.2/2018. Avindo also hastily assigned a negative TID CCC or triple C or credit watch rating before finally withdrawing its rating from S&P Finance. However, until this news was released, Pevindo had not responded to questions. With the enactment of PKU, S&P Finance is prohibited from conducting financing business activities. If absent from this matter, the OJK can immediately impose sanctions on the revocation of business licenses. Not only that, during the PKU sanction period, S&P Finance is also required to submit and take correction activities. Within 6 months since the PKU, S&P Finance does not comply with these actions. It can be subject to sanctions with the revocation of its business license. He added. Under this condition, until Audit, the OJK will continue to monitor development in the SPN Finance cases, as well as monitor the bank's internal audit team which conduct internal investigations and will impose sanctions if any bank employees are involved. OJK will continue to coordinate with related agencies, such as the police and the Ministry of Finance for the necessary actions. OJK also prohibits the issuance of MTN without OJK permission and prepares coordination steps with the Ministry of Finance regarding the work of public accounting firms. And the next is, after knowing the activities carried out by the SNP, we know that the SNP has violated auditing standards. The Ministry of Finance or Kementerian Keuangan said that two public accountants who audited SNP Finance financial statement, namely public accountants Marlina and Marliana Shamsul, violated professional auditing standards. Quoting official data from the Financial Professional Development Center or Pusat Pembinaan Profesi Keuangan or PPPK in auditing SNP Finance for the 2012 until 2016 financial year. They have not fully implemented information system controls related to customer data and the accuracy of financing receivable journal. The public accountant also has not implemented the acquisition of sufficient and appropriate audit evidence on accounts and carried out fraud risk. Apart from the two public accountants above, the Ministry of Finance also highlighted Deloitte Indonesia. They are given sanction in the form of recommendation to make policies and procedures in the public accountant quality control system related to treat to the closeness of senior engagement team members. Secretary General of the Ministry of Finance, Hardianto, said that sanctions were given to correct them. Administrative sanctions are given to make policies and procedures in the quality control system of public accountants better, he said. When confirmed, Deloitte Indonesia's client and market leader Steve Aditya still did not explain the sanction he had received. We are preparing a response to your news. We will respond soon, he said. And we got the source from CNN Indonesia article with the title Kronologi SNP Finance dari Tukang Kredit ke Tukang Bobol. And the next slide will be presented by Afifah Rabbani. To Afifah Rabbani, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, FL. We move to the next topic about the relationship of the case with the auditor's code ethics. So first, about the integrity. The integrity of the auditor is building trust and providing a basis for confidence in his judgment. Integrity does not only represent honesty, but also fair dealing and actual circumstances. In this case, the public accountant from public accounting firm or KAP, Satrio Bing Eni and Partner or SPE, which is one of Deloitte's Indonesia's entities, did not apply the principle of integrity. The reason is because during the audit of SNP financial statement, they gave an unqualified opinion, even though in reality they did not know the condition of SNP financial statement, which had been manipulated by the directors and managers of SNP Finance, or you could say the public accountants did not have good faith. Meanwhile, the director and managers of SNP Finance also did not apply the principle of integrity because they gave unreasonable opinions by manipulating the company's financial statement. Second, for the objectivity. Auditors demonstrate the highest level of professional objectivity, namely in collecting, evaluating, and communicating information about the activities or processes being audited. The auditor makes a balanced assessment of all relevant circumstances and is not influenced by his own interest or that of others in making the assessment. The principle of objectivity determines the obligation for the auditor to be forthright, intellectually honest, and free from conflicts or interest. In this case, the public accountant did not apply objectivity because they could not detect fraudulent falsification of company financial document committed by the directors and managers of SNP Finance. Meanwhile, the banking sector also does not apply objectivity because it does not analyze financial reports and other information separately and directly trust a company in providing credit only because it has a good reputation and has been operating for a long period of time. And third, confidentiality. The auditor must respect the value and ownership of the information received and not disclose information without proper authorization, unless there is a statutory provision or professional obligation to do so. In this case, the directors and managers of SNP Finance kept secret from various parties that they had manipulated SNP Finance financial reports because they think it is useful to help relieve their company's credit, help acquire SNP Finance, and restructure or extend interest payment tenors. Therefore, they ask for an injection of funds from their group, namely PT Columbia, and ask for working capital loans from several banks such as Bank Mandiri, BRI, BNI, BTN, and BCA. Therefore, public accountants do not know what has been kept secret by the directors and managers of SNP Finance so that they can be said to apply the principle of confidentiality. And the last is professional behavior. Auditors should act in a manner consistent with the good reputation of the profession and refrain from any behavior that might undermine confidence in the profession of internal control or the organization. In this case, even though the public accountant have carried out audit procedures in accordance with the Public Accountant Professional Standards or SPAP, and the banks trust the company, the SNP Finance, and provide loans to SNP Finance, they, the public accountants and banks, are considered not to have implemented professional behavior due to ignorance of fraud in SNP Finance financial statement that have been manipulated by the directors and managers of SNP Finance. And also, what the public accountant has done has raised the reputation of the public accountant firm Setrio Bing Eni and Partners, which is one of Deloitte's Indonesia's entities, is now being questioned for its professionalism. So, for the solution of each auditor's code ethics, first, for the integrity, we should doing work with honesty, diligence, and responsibility. We comply with the law and make disclosures required by the statutory and professional provisions. We respect and contribute to the legitimate and ethical goals of the organization. We do not receive gratuities related to position in any form. Second, the objectivity. We do not participate in any activities or relationship that may conflict with the interests of the organization or which may cause prejudice or which doubt the ability to carry out duties and fulfill professional responsibility objectively. We do not accept anything in any form that may interfere or reasonably be suspect of interfering with professional judgment. Disclose all known material facts, namely fact which is not, if not disclosed, could change or influence decision making or cover up unlawful practices. Then 3, for the confidentiality, we be careful in the use and protection of information obtained in the course of their duties. We do not use information for personal gain or in any way that will conflict with statutory provision or harm legitimate and ethical organizational goals. And 4 is the professional behavior. We do not engage in any illegal activity or engage in any act that discredits the internal control provisions or organization. We do not taking over the roles, duties, function, and responsibility of audit management in carrying out consulting assignments. And that's the last. I think that's all from us. We're all sorry for the mistake. Thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe.
Like.
Comment.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.